What's happening, Trip? She's all good?
Good evening.
All good.
Very good. We're live on YouTube, so as always, let us know if you can hear us, because that would be helpful. As these are traditions when we do live to YouTubes, we spend the first 10 seconds, 20 seconds realising that no one can hear what we're saying.
Now, we're all good, man. I can see
So-
the wee volume thing going up and down, so we're fine.
We've been suckered with that before, like.
I think I have, but I've normally had a lot to drink in these things, and I'm decent today, so we're all good.
Nice. Cool. Well, it's happening, boys. End of a long, hard season. We'll do this podcast tonight, then hopefully see each other for about 6 weeks and get back to hopefully doom and gloom, because I said to somebody on walking back to the bus after St Mirren on Wednesday, I said that it's so difficult to podcast when Hearts are as good as what we are. So bring back the glory years, like where we've got something to be absolutely furious about.
I'm all for that.
Anyway, exactly. Give something to be upset about. Ando, what's been happening?
Not much, man. I was up on Saturdays, we still didn't win. So I don't know where this leaves me. If the monkey's off the back now, or I don't know. I'll let you inform me what happens going forward for here.
I know I'm in the same conundrum as you have. The two jackets are gone now, but unfortunately shorts and hoodies seem to be the omen, because we've not been beat since I was wearing that. So I was a bit strategic, thinking, well, if we're in Europe, at least I can wear shorts. The hoodie's not ideal, like, but at least where we're at, we'll have to reevaluate. See, maybe a pre-season friendly or something that we know will win. You can come up for a pre-season friendly against like Raith Rovers or something like that.
That'll do.
I guess you're totally screwed if we get some club for Iceland or Finland in the in the Euros.
I'll be that guy in the away end with my shorts on. Exactly. Anyway, well, it was a good game at least, Ando. That was good. We never got absolutely horsed, so you're heading in the right direction.
It's baby steps. I think. Have a nice day. It was good before and after it. So I think. Let's just say it's done. It's dusted, and it's just a formality now. First, have we not got like a glamour friendly against somebody coming up in July? I think I'll
Port Vale,
Leighton Orient, is it not?
Leighton Orient,
or
there you
something
go.
like that.
Aye, that's it. I'll go along to that. We'll stuff them, and then we'll be back to normal.
I actually got a question, Ando. Did you leave when Rangers Ford went in, and that's why we improved, or was it?
No, I was right there to the bitter end. Right there to the
Stay
end.
right to the end, did you? That was good. Tam, what's been happening?
No, actually, I feel a bit rubbish, but as flat as your hair.
Wait. I know I've had to visit Lee Miller's hair systems to get myself a toupee.
It's looking good, man. Looking good.
I've had a shower and I can't be bothered with my hair. To my adoring public, I'm very sorry. I'll be selling selfies on my Only Tams to make up for my hair being so limp.
I don't know how to
There's a
follow
joke in there somewhere.
that. Exactly.
Yeah,
I'm good, man.
that's
Cheers.
back sponsored by Newman or whatever it's called.
I really want to say what I said before we started the go live button, but I don't think I could, because there's definitely at least 2 women watching, as we can see from the YouTube comments.
We made
so I'm not saying
14
it.
pence off last week's broadcast, so come on. Let's keep it going. We've got to keep it above board, like
Fair.
keep it above waist level.
Fair.
So what are you feeling rubbish for, Tam?
Just I've got a cold, man. Just end of the season blues.
That's a shame, because you look fantastic.
Thanks, man.
Magnificent. Kev, what's been happening?
First of all, I'm shocked that Ando has been chucking out blooming compliments to Tam. I mean, we've definitely come to the end of the season.
You just drop a blooming. You just drop a B-bomb in there, Kev. Come on.
Well,
Flipping hell.
It's a child-friendly programme.
We've got another 14 pence to make, mate.
That's true. You're blooming right there, Kev.
You're damn right. Other than that, other than the weekend, nothing's been happening. Looking forward to a bank holiday weekend this weekend coming. Unfortunately, no football though. Shite.
Hey, there we go. There's the first one. There we go. There's 10 pence for the broadcast. Well, there is football. There's the Scottish Cup final. There's the FA Cup final.
Playoffs.
There's the playoffs, isn't there? We've got some Hearts content in the playoffs, don't we? Because I'm sure Danda and that will be playing for Ross County.
Is that this weekend, is it?
Do you have a preference? Who stays or who goes? Do we want Raith Rovers up? Do we want Ross County down?
I'd rather take Wraith Rovers to come. It's been a while since I've been there, but again, one of the things, plastic pitch. Don't know how keen I am on that, but Wraith Rovers, it's a decent enough away then. It's far easier to get home for than Ross County because it's a dunghole
It's true.
and miles away.
Can we sign the Mallard on like a pre-season, pre-contract or something? Is that like we try and get that signed in the summer, and then at least have that, because I'm with you. I've had enough of Ross County. I'll be honest with you.
Anything to do with our manager?
Well, think of the Raith
Maybe.
Rovers manager as well, and then you've got another.
Maybe, but then I know Ian Murray's the other one, so it's
He'll
a very tough choice.
He'll
It's
not
a
be Raith
very
Rovers for
tough
long.
choice. It's a very, very tough choice. Aye. Well, we've got that to look forward to. That'll keep us going. Right. Thanks everybody for joining us. Everybody on YouTube. We'll do a bit of we'll talk about the Rangers game, obviously. We'll do some Hearts headlines to close out the season. And then we'll do a bit of a reflection of sort of goals of the season, games of the season, player of the season. Probably caveat all of that by saying minus Shankland, because I assume that Shankland will just clean. Let's take that as read. Shankland is the best player of the season, scored probably the best goal of the season, and probably contributed to the best moment of the season. Let's try and shine a light on some other stuff that isn't just the Lauren Shankland show.
Oh, yeah. This is almost like we're professional at this, and well, not really, because I forgot to mention, but I have a Tamdown, which is minus Shankland themed.
All right. Well, I also have a Tamdown, so we're Tamdown heavy.
Excellent.
But we can we'll see how it's gone.
Sound.
We'll see how it's gone. Oh well. Aye. So, Cam will keep an eye in the comments. Let us know your thoughts, and we'll discuss if you get anything different to any of the boysies. All right. Sound good, boys?
Sounds good.
The merch that I am very kindly sporting is now en route. Is it, Ando?
Yeah. Yes, it is. Sorry, I didn't quite catch what you said there. Yes, it is. I posted it this afternoon, and it should be there over the next couple of days.
Magic. Let's say it's all made to order. It's all handmade. That comes from India or something like that. So it genuinely does take ages. It's not as we play no part in it other than send the guy the orders. So it does take ages. So thanks for bearing with us. It should all start to land with you. If you've ordered it and it's not with you, get in contact with us, and we'll let you know as and when roughly you should start to see it. All right. But there you go. You can plug the, what do you call it? The big cartel. There you go, Tam. There's your first bit.
www.thisismystorypod.bigcartel.com. That could be completely way off it.
That's right. Remember you gave me the login details to Twitter, and that was wrong as well.
Yeah, my phone just does it.
Seamless and professional. Seamless and professional.
It's the last podcast. Leave me alone. I need to keep up standards.
And you're not feeling well. We know you tell us. Jesus Christ, man. It's such a snowflake. You're not feeling well.
I've got my Scotland podcast to look forward to doing over the next.
Next you'll be saying you've got COVID or something.
I've actually got 5 tests. No.
yeah. I've got my free lateral froze, man. Right. Let's do the headlines then. So, Hearts headlines, I think we never spoke about it last time, but since then, Benny signed until 2026. Thoughts?
Happy for me. We spoke about when he's at it. When he's at it, there's no one better.
That you're happy.
I know you should be used to this by now, but it's been a long season of happy clapping because it's been so good. But no, I think when he's at it, there's no better centre mid in the team. So, and he makes us tick. So when he's not at it, that's a worry. But hopefully he's got a bit of form and consistency with a good pre-season as well.
Yep. Any contrary opinions?
Not contrary.
Not contrary.
No, you first, Kev.
You go, Ando.
No,
you
you first. Age before beauty.
Well, thanks very much. Christ, you're never going then. I can't disagree with what Tam said, but what I would like to see alongside him is someone who's a bit more creative. I think Benny as a player gets a lot of unnecessary abuse because he's not going forward after winning the ball. I don't think that's the kind of player he is. I think he's a player to win the ball and then make a simple enough pass, whether that be sideways or whatever, to somebody who's a bit more creative. And don't get me wrong, I think Devlin's shown a bit of that in the last couple of games with his sort of runs and his ability to win balls and win tackles. So, that's not a bad thing. But I would like to see somebody a bit more creative beside him, whether that's Danda or somebody else, who knows.
Ando?
Just that I'm not blown over by it. I'm not super excited. I'm just okay, fine. We'll keep him for another couple of years or whatever. I think on his day he's brilliant, but I think for me the big question for me is the injury thing. Right, so all it takes is one wee knock in a pre-season. That's him out for 9 months. I don't have any confidence that we're going to see value for him from him. Sorry, for the next 2 years. But just call it a feeling.
Yeah, I think the club were in a situation where they probably didn't want him to leave for nothing, given the investment, and get a point before his bad injury. We were looking, you were talking a couple of £1 million we'd be looking for to move him on. So I think the club are more looking to try and protect their asset and hope that he can turn into a player. Because, like I said, when on his day, he's a fantastic football player. Is he going to score your goals, create your goals? Absolutely not. But then again, that's probably not his game. Like you said, you're looking for people in and around him, whether that be a Spittle. I don't think Danda will play in that area of the park, if I'm being honest with you. I think he'll play more in the Forest type role, or the 10 type thing. But yeah, if we can get more people around him, potentially. Midfielders sign in, and then obviously midfielders leaving. Club announced that Peter Haring was leaving the club after 6 years of service. Nothing but thanks for Peter Haring. I think he was one of the brighter lights and shining lights in a very dark period of time for Hearts, and gave us all. Yeah, probably by the end was maybe just a bit too slow for the pace of the game up here, but no hard feelings. Goes with best wishes and will always be pretty much welcomed back at Tynecastle for me. But I really liked Peter Haring.
Yep, 100% agree.
Right, goes far to say that it was actually Levine's best signing.
Yeah, but we don't praise that guy on this.
No, definitely not.
You know the rules. You know the rules. We'd spoke about it in one of the group chats or whatever. I won't lie that I thought it was pretty poor of Andy Halliday not to show on Saturday. He's been at the club for 3 years. We've backed him. He's had some good performances in a Hearts jersey, and I've spoke about that on here. Albeit a very limited football player, but we gave him a platform, gave him a decent wage. His game wasn't until 3 o'clock on the Sunday. He might have been training, fair enough, but he could have missed it. It was a dead rubber anyway in his game. The opportunity to come and thank the fans for their support, I think it was pretty poor. And for me, just highlights exactly what we've said from the start. I never ever had an issue with him doing the podcast and the open goal stuff and the Clyde Super Scoreboard stuff and being the part-time Rangers cheerleader that he was. My issues was always that I thought it was unprofessional, because if he was in the shoes of he still played with Rangers, he wouldn't even ask that question. It wouldn't even enter his mind to be that disrespectful to Rangers. Then you imagine, for example, they lost the league on Saturday to Celtic, and he's on that podcast on a Monday talking about how good the team Celtic are, and no chance. They would never even think about doing that at Rangers. And for him not to be arsed to show up on Saturday to walk round and thank the fans, for me, is pretty disgusting, if I'm being honest with you. So get it right up, Andy Halliday. I hope he gets a horrible time at Motherwell, and his Daft Wee podcast can ask me back on again, because that'd be fun.
But the next time they ask you on, sorry, you'll be shaking his hand and everyone will be like, "Oh, hi, Andy."
I'll be telling him. You know that. You know I'll be telling him. Fine, well, I've told him before why I think he shouldn't be on that podcast, but never mind. Who else left? McGovern, the goalkeeper.
Who cares?
Who cares, innit?
Aye.
He's up there with that
I
cheesy
don't
guy.
even know what he looks like. See later. Who cares?
Yeah, he literally could have been stood next to me all season. I would never clue who it was. Right. The other weird thing was, and I don't know if the club have spoken about it, but Alan Forrest wasn't there either.
I did find this out. Have you got more information? Go for it, Ando.
No, but I only heard
No,
what was in the group chat, and I might be way off the mark here, and someone's come up with more accurate information. But was at Celtic Park to see his brother's final game or something like that?
That was Corbett making up rumours again.
Oh, was it?
No.
Okay.
that was Corbett. That was me.
I like that
riling
one. Can we
everybody
not
up.
just run with that? Just,
It was a good one. Like it made sense to me. Like I was
just punt it out there as the truth.
right. Tam, going in. What was it? It was at the Livy Stadium. Was it a Hearty Harry for the Livy?
That was
What's it called? Diesel or whatever he is, the guy that plays the drum.
He was a DBM mascot or something. No, he had a sickness bug apparently, so quite possibly could have been at Parkhead, to be honest. But
Nonsense. Absolute nonsense. I don't believe that for a second. Nathaniel Atkinson was there on crutches or whatever it is that he was on. Well, I don't know what that was all about, but I would hope that it wasn't a way to see his brother's last game for Celtic. That would be my hope.
I do think
it's bug in the last day of the season. Doesn't matter if everybody gets sick. We've got no other games to play, so it's
Who
fine.
cares? Exactly.
Help.
Everybody's in Dubai or pretty much away anyway.
Help
so
you with your weight
what
loss
difference does it make?
before you get your budgie smugglers on in the Dubai beach.
Exactly. Were you going to say something, Tam?
I was just going to
making
say
faces
one
at-
thing I thought was I don't think Naismith really stands for that kind of pish that previous managers probably would allow. So that is one thing.
The same. Well, explain why Vargas went home with Lewis Palma in his car and why Oda and Tagawa were allowed to stay behind to talk to Celtic players and then get the train home by themselves if our management team didn't allow such things.
Aye, but I forgot about that. So
Right, okay, yeah, so that's right, okay, right, sorry, that's what you're talking about. You just forgot about it, did we? And we also allowed, remember, Andy Halliday was allowed to do the match commentary on Alan McGregor's testimonial and do the pre-match compare stuff on Ibrox. So let's not pretend that the club, it would be such a crazy reach to say that the club allowed Alan Forrest to go with his family to watch James Forrest's potential last game for Celtic. Absolute cards on the table. I have made that up. I have absolutely no idea if Alan Forrest was at Celtic Park. I just thought, well, putting two and two together, where was he? A sickness bug, isn't he? Isn't he good
Just
enough?
to go back to something you said a minute ago, the Kioske and Tagawa thing, obviously hanging about with the other Oriental players at Celtic. Is that one true, or do you make that one up?
No, that's true. They stayed behind to talk to all the Japanese players that are at Celtic or whatever. Which, to
I
be
don't
fair,
mind
I
that.
actually
I genuinely don't.
I don't mind that
Yeah.
either. If I'm being honest,
But-
I don't mind that. They don't speak English.
Aye.
The opportunity to converse in their own language and make some friends and all that.
100%.
I don't care about that. They're getting in a car to go home with Lewis Palma thing. That's maybe a bit rubbish, especially when you see them sitting signing autographs and our superstar Costa Ricans just in the passenger seat like a wee boy like sitting there waiting on his daddy sign autographs is a bit much, but I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with that.
No.
Anything else Hearts related? Any other tidbits that you've heard over the week?
Don't think so.
I've
Did I
chat
just say
that they were
Yes, I did.
looking at Lembikisa to come back next season, I heard.
Who?
Club?
Hearts are?
Aye. Hope
Don't
not.
ruin my summer.
Yeah, I hope not.
Do not ruin my summer.
Still trying to work out what
I
position he should play.
it was
nearly broke my neck falling over about 4 rows when he scored on Saturday. Not because of the limbs or because I was happy, but because he'd done about 3 celebrations. We were 3-2 down. He did a camera hing and then he did a hing with hing and I was like, ah! I was like, get the ball! Get the ball! We're still getting beat.
To be fair, one of the
And
players
it's
reacted
funny
like
'cause
that as well, didn't they? I can't even remember who it was.
When they zoomed in on the section, you could just see everybody round about me absolutely buckled with laughter because I genuinely nearly went over about 3 rows. I was absolutely livid. I was absolutely livid. Actually, since we're shout out to the guy in the sombrero that during the limbs of the free came and talked to us. He listens to the podcast. He's a fan of the podcast. So, hello, Mr. Sombrero guy. It was it might be my highlight of the season, was in the absolute carnage of the goal, looking up to a man in a sombrero, what to talk to me about the podcast and Mr. Shanks, as in our podcast, Mr. Shanks, not the good Shanks.
Not the good Shanks. That's it. There's your podcast name already.
That's a polite way of saying something else. So it's fine.
Shite Shanks.
Come on, we've got. Well, I was going to say we've got 10 pence in credit. No, we're at 8 pence. 8 pence
No,
profit.
actually,
Split
that
four
word,
folks, 2p each.
that word Disney excluded. Didn't want it. It's fine. You can say that one as much as you like.
Oh, nice. Well, there we go. We'll make some money then. Well, if there's nothing else to talk about Hearts, we got a wee chuckle at our neighbours across the road.
Oh, I've been waiting for this. Hello.
Oh, here we go.
Been a long week, eh?
Fantastic.
It's been a long
Look
week.
at the wee cheeky Corbett smile there. Just like that. We sort of have. Love it.
Well,
Love it.
I do enjoy that. It looks like they're saying they're going to have a manager's announcement pretty soon, or news on the manager pretty soon, and given their new top-class stand-up man of a sporting director, friend of the podcast and all-round good guy, Malky Mackay, his comments today I read essentially read like he wants to be every bit as involved as Craig Levein, and no doubt will end up with a young coach that does his bidding. Tam Courts was at the game on Saturday or the Wednesday night, but that might just be because he's pals with Hanlon or Stevenson potentially, or they'll maybe just give it, potentially looking like they're going to give it to David Gray. Sack Nick Montgomery. Any thoughts on any other than just get it right up them?
So when are we putting the bets on that Not Mark McGee, what's his name?
Mark McGee. Malky Mackay becomes the actual manager.
When does he become? Is it after the group stages of the League Cup, or yeah?
I know. They seem to be an absolute mess just now. I've seen that their loan players that they've pinned their hopes on staying have basically said that they'll not be back. Marcondes and Malida saying that they won't come back. Johann's fighting with any fan on any social media platform that dare says that he's rubbish. All round just brilliant. I think it's great. I think they're a mess. They've said that Hanlon and Stevenson will leave. They've given them a big farewell. They stapled 40 bed sheets together. And I think they're on the verge of Paul Hanlon's going to sign a 1-year extension. I think was the last rumour I heard. So that is fantastic. They also, they're just a good laugh.
Did you say that Marcondes and Malida are not coming back next year?
Well, they were on loan, aren't they?
Okay.
They're on loan.
I didn't know if it was just this season, but fair enough. Good.
I think one of them, Malida, I think, said that he wants to play at a higher level or something like that. So he's at Hertha Berlin or something just now.
Signing for Wraith Rovers in the Championship then, when they don't get promoted.
I honestly hope that they bring in Gray as the manager, just because some of the takes and shouts of who they want in has been nothing short of absolutely hysterical. Like they're wanting
give us some.
Pochettino, who's just left Chelsea, or they want to sign players that, like, I think one of them said they wanted to sign the captain of Leeds United, I think, who are just about to potentially come up to the Premier League. Like, what world do you live in, man? Absolutely bananas.
Happy to leave them in that world.
That'll be fun. Well, we will keep our powder dry as the style of this podcast. It's not like us to make any rash, bold claims and then make an arse of ourselves on the internet. So we'll keep our powder dry in this space until I can start releasing the Hibs tears Robbie Nielsen picture again that gets them all so very much upset.
We need to do a new one of them though, because it can't be the Nielsen one anymore. But sorry, I don't know if you said it in your summary. A mate told me yesterday, is Boyle meant to be leaving Hibs? Sorry.
Well, he wants to.
Right. Go to Australia.
He wants to.
Cool. Sorry, I didn't know if you'd mentioned that or not. Apologies.
Aye. What was I going to say there?
Hibs tears.
Aye, we'll update it when Naismith needs to win a derby at Tynecastle. That's all we're asking.
Oh, fair enough.
All right, get a wee derby. I know he got the probably moment of most people's season with the 93rd minute winner at Easter Road, but just put them to bed at Tynecastle because that's when it's really enjoyable, when we can get it right
Yeah,
up them.
fair.
Cool. Any other headlines that have caught your fancy?
I think so.
Good.
Has there
We'll
been?
probably talk about it when we talk about the Rangers review, but did we? I feel like we kind of got away with a VAR done us a favour a bit on Saturday because I think that Rangers should have had the penalty with that Dessers one. I think that's a penalty. I think that's a penalty.
I thought at the time
To
it
be
definitely
fair,
was, to be honest. Yeah.
maybe evens itself out with the fact that maybe the Vargas one, although it's a bit lightweight, maybe. But if that was Shankland being had his shirt pulled like I'd be absolutely livid, to be fair. But again, get it right, Random. Fantastic to see.
Only other thing,
Right.
I was going to say is, has there been? I'm looking at you for this time. I know there was an England announcement, squad announcement for the Euros. It was all over Sky Sports News earlier. Anything for Scotland yet? Do we know who's
Tomorrow,
potentially
3 p.m.
going to Germany and getting injured?
Nah, it's tomorrow at 3 p.m. So
Oh,
we'll see.
I'll shut up then. Move on.
All right, not that he's got it in the calendar or wait for that. That's tomorrow, just at like 3 p.m.
just
Exactly.
about then or something.
Got it set to record.
Just a bit.
The only other thing is
Just a
the
bit.
good news that we might no longer have any plastic pitches, I suppose, by 2026, I think it was.
Shouldn't have them anyway.
That's very true. Rafe Rovers have got one though, don't they?
Yeah.
Fine, they can't come up. Just take Ross County and leave Wraith Rovers down there.
Well, just get rid
Just
of one.
an 11 team.
We've only got Kilmarnock to
Well,
get
if
rid
we're
of,
just-
and then that's it. As it
Well,
stands.
Kilmarnock are
They're
getting rid of theirs this year.
theirs in the summer.
Oh,
yeah.
they?
Yep.
Oh, decent. Right,
Yep.
Okay.
Actually, there's something that we didn't talk about because Lauren Shanklin clean sweeped all of the awards in Scotland, but Derek McInnes won
Writers.
the Manager of the Year.
Hmm.
We're gonna have
Good.
like, aye. We talked about that last week, didn't we?
Well,
Roughly when it came.
it can't be. It can't be Clement because he's lost the league, and it can't be Brendan Rodgers because they've been absolutely terrible this season and like didn't win the league by any sort of like by a decent margin. So by their own standards, they're terrible. So it can't be any of those two. You have to give it to somebody that's next in line. Naismith, has he done enough? I'd say so, but
It's not about has he done enough. If the spotlight moves from Rodgers and Clement for Manager of the Year, then whatever argument you have to justify Derek McInnes and even Tony Docherty being in the conversation, you cannot skip over Hearts. We've finished inside 20 points of second. I think Aberdeen and then ourselves are the only clubs to ever be that close to second. Again, fair play to Aberdeen, you can only do what you can do at the time, but the league's back to normal now, right? Given the Rangers troubles and all that sort of stuff, and the chasm between us and them has went, like I said, we had Hearts, Hibs, Aberdeen, St Johnstone, all those clubs had an opportunity to bridge that gap and close that gap when Rangers were down the leagues. But now it feels like we're back to having the sort of old firm of old type thing. So for Hearts to be not just as close as they are, but since pretty much December until now, Hearts have been toe to toe with Celtic Rangers. Obviously, our terrible performance in the top six continued, although it didn't cost us anything or to our detriment. I think whether we end up with 5 points, is that right? 5 points.
Mm.
That sounds very much like what
I think
did I
he
say 4?
actually did say 4 or 5.
I think I said 4. I think I said
I think you
maybe
said
1
4.
win and a draw.
1 win and a draw, aye.
I think that's what I did say. But yeah, I thought if you can make an argument for Derek McInnes to get the Manager of the Year, then you've got to be blind or stupid not to then have that same conversation or argument for Stephen Naismith, given where he's come from and the job that he's done.
Who?
Do you know what I
Here's
mean?
one for you. Who took more points off the Old Firm?
Kilmarnock
Well,
started the season off. Did they not beat Celtic and Rangers?
They beat Celtic
That was
and
a cup
Rangers.
game, though, wasn't it? One of them was a
did
cup.
Oh, it was
they
a cup.
beat Celtic in the cup? Did they not?
Yeah.
They knocked Celtic at the cup and beat Rangers in the league. Did they get? I think they beat Celtic at Celtic Park. Actually, I think did they not score in like the 95th minute with a header or something like that? Make it 1-0.
I'm sure they've beaten Celtic home and away. Or maybe it's
Aye,
Rangers
but
home and away. It's one of the two, or if not both. But
If it was in the League Cup, they knocked Celtic out of the League Cup at Rugby Park. Definitely. I don't think they've beat Celtic 3 times this season.
there you go. Well, there's another potential argument, which is who's beaten the Old Firm more? In terms of the amount of times that you faced them. It's going to be them, isn't it?
No. I don't think the argument for, like I said, I genuinely think they've went, right, we want to get to Clermont, and then they've went, oh, actually, he's not going to win the treble. We can't get to Rogers. Just pick some other folk that we like. Derek McInnes is one of the ones that they like, and Tony Dock was Derek McInnes' assistant manager, and then they picked some dafty that won the Vida League, playing 5-a-sides or something on a Tuesday with John McGlynn. So, but anyway,
8 points.
there we go. There we go. Right, Tamdown, you said you've got one. Ando.
I do. So, hands and heads. This is minus Shanklin themed, but only because you're not allowed to say his name. But if we go back, so we're going to look at who are the club's top goal scorers going back since season 2010-2011 all the way forward to this, right? Obviously, we know Shanklin's been the top scorer for the last 2 seasons, so you're not allowed to pick him. So for the last 2 seasons, it's whoever's been second place top goal scorer, and then for every other season, who has been our top goal scorer. Simple enough?
So the end of the season top goal
Yes.
scorers for Hearts.
Correct.
Oh, right, okay.
But not including Shanklin for the last 2 seasons.
Yep,
because
okay.
that's obvious. Right, so I will let Corbett go first.
I'm going to go evil because I think the season where Specky managed to have his last place when COVID hit, I think Craig Halkett was like our top goal scorer.
Hey, you're right.
So
Craig Halkett?
So I'm saying Craig Halkett. That will go for me.
No. Craig Halkett is not a top goal scorer.
Is this all competitions? Sorry, just
It's all competitions, not including friendlies. So only competitive goals in a season. So, and I've got the list in front of me for all the seasons going back to the year 2000. So, if there's any debate, we can shut that down right away. But yeah, Craig Halkett unfortunately is not a top goal scorer in any of the lists. Kev, you're next.
I'll be sensible then. I will go with Lafferty.
Lafferty, yes, correct. In 2017-2018 season, had 19 goals. Tam.
I will go Osmond So.
Osmond So, correct. 2014-15 season, had 15 goals. Back to Corbett.
Well, if it wasn't Craig Halkett, then it must have been Sean Clare.
Sean Clare, correct. 8 goals in 2019-2020 season. Well done. Kev.
I'll go with Scatchell.
Rudolph Scatchell is the answer for 2 seasons, 2010 and 11, and then 2011-2012, with 13 and 18 goals respectively. But you only get 1 point for it. So, well done. Sam.
Did Wanma finish top goal scorer?
He did in 15-16 season with 14 goals. Well done. Corbett.
Sleeping bag jacket. Ryan Stevenson.
I was thinking that.
So Ryan Stevenson is not on the list, but I'm trying to think. He must have been top of the. No, he's not actually. Going back for a fair few seasons. No, not on my list. Going back to 2010.
Wow.
Tam.
I thought
Sorry,
they would
Kev. By the way, you can say
Um,
the last two seasons just without Shankland.
Oh,
just to piss off Tam, then I'll say Vargas.
Well done, sorry. I should
that's
have made that clear at the start. Yes,
cool.
this season, nine goals for 23-24. Tam.
That's fine. I'll just go Ginelli. It's fine.
Junior. Okay, yep, fine. 12 goals last season. Corbett.
I'm trying to get the obscure ones so that we didn't have to waste our time with the Hangman ones. If it wasn't Ryan Stevenson, the square sausage he'd top a chart once. Was fucking Kev Kyles.
Kev Kyle. No.
It would have been 2010 that year.
I know. I'm trying to think who would have been the top goal scorer then.
Yeah, for 2010, 2011, it was
Oh,
Scatchel.
actually, it might have been Rudy.
Yeah, it was
actually.
that. He
Aye, it would have been
got
Rudy,
two
wouldn't it?
seasons, 2010 and 11, and then 11 and 12, which Kev got the point for. Right, Kev, you.
The season we got relegated would have been Jamie Walker.
Yep, 15 goals that season, 2016,
Many is that?
2017.
Is that his only season?
On my list, yes. Because you're only getting 1 point per person. If you had multiple seasons, I would have said that as per previous answers.
What year
Tam.
did you say? Sorry, 17-18. So it
That's
wasn't
right.
the relegation season. Cool.
Well, oh, well, there you go. Anyway,
How many seasons are we missing?
you have 4 still. Sorry, there's 5 seasons still to get, but one player was the top scorer in 2 of those seasons. So there's only 4 answers left to get across 5 seasons. Tam.
Lagging, Mike. Try to think of strikers. We had. That's Eggert Johnson. Did he score some goals? I don't know.
He did, but he's not on the list. And it's only from 2010 onwards, top scorers. So, Corbett.
The gaffer was Stephen Naismith one of our top goal
that's
scorers.
Absolutely
good shit.
was in 18-19 season with 14 goals. So you've 3 answers left. And I can tell you what seasons, if that helps you. So you get 2012-13, 2013-14, and then 2021-22, and 2019. But only 3 answers. Who's next? Tam.
Kev.
Sorry, Kev.
Graven's sake. Who the?
What did you say?
For heaven's
Sorry,
sake, and he
mate.
said blimey as well. What's
Yeah.
going on?
Flipping hell.
Mate, we're up to 20 pence sharp.
I thought you would get this a lot easier.
Oh, mate, we've got to the end of the season. Our brains are mentally fucked.
Was Stephen Elliott one of the top goal scorers?
No, but I like
No,
your
he would have
thinking
left
there.
in 2012.
I know, but that's one of the seasons that we're missing.
I know 2012 was Scatchel.
2012-13 we've got to get.
2012-13 you still need to get. But I like what Corbett's done there, but it's... Stevenson finished second in that season with 8. Someone else was ahead of him with 11. But anyway. Kev, hurry up and give me an
Callum
answer.
Patterson.
No, it wasn't Callum Patterson. Kev,
Tony Watt,
No,
just to get that out.
No,
Oh, I knew perfectly well. He scored 2 goals.
Tam.
Did Jamie Hamill not take penalties that season? Was it him?
Jamie Hamill is a correct answer, but for 13-14 season with 12. So well done.
Class.
There are only 2 answers left. So the
David Templeton.
No.
Oh, that would be good.
David Templeton
For
in
God's sake.
2012-2013 season got 3 goals.
Andy Driver.
He's further down the list. He got 2. So I'll work up that I'll work up the list in ascending order and buzz when you think you've got the right answer, right? So this is for 2012, 2013. Darren Barr on 1, Gordon Smith, Jamie Hamill, Kevin McCarthy, Mehdi Taoul, Sam Nicholson, all on 1. On 2 goals, you had Webster and Driver and Jamie Walker. On 3 goals,
John Sutton.
How many?
yep.
He better not have been. He cannot have been one of the top goal scorers.
John Sutton was the top goal scorer in 2012-2013 season.
That was where I was going next, but I was like, "There's no way he was the top goal scorer." Might as well just say Mike Tulberg.
Thank God we've got Lawrence Shankland.
Just to annoy Corbett was the other one Steve McLean. Properly triggered him.
Nah, he didn't. He didn't play enough games.
To finish the list, on 3 goals you had Novikov as Danny Granger, David Templeton, and Jason Holt. Zal on 4, Callum Patterson on 5, along with Michael Ngoo, Ryan Stevenson on 8, and then John Sutton on 11. Right, so there's one player left.
What season was it again?
21/22 and 20/19. So
the same player.
Top scorer before we signed Shankland. Who would it be?
And it's no.
Liam Boyce.
Correct. Well done.
We had him that long. I didn't even realise it was that.
There you go. Right, so top scores are... the winner is Kev, 6. So, well done. I'll be honest, I thought that would be a lot easier than it turned out to be, but,
it's easy when you've got the answers in front of you, Ando.
This is true.
I was just trying to hang with. I was just trying to get the obscure ones out of the way, because I was like, well, we can get the obvious ones, so if you mop up the obscure ones, you'll be sound.
Do you want you can, as I say, I've got the list here, you can take a pop shot at any other previous top goal scorer going back to the year 2000. I have them all here.
Paul
Hartley, correct. In 04-05 season with 15. In fact, I'll just tell you, it's probably easier. So 2.
Velika.
Yep. Yeah. He's one. Yeah, Mark De Vries, 2 seasons in a row, 2002 through 2004. Kevin McKenna.
Did Stephen Presley win one year? Because he scored nothing but penalties.
No, but that was always the safe bet. Put a tenner on Stephen Presley to score first.
Yeah.
It was a money maker.
What about Gary McSwiggan?
No.
Velichka
twice.
I've said that.
Oh, did you? Sorry, mate.
No, Gary McSwiggan not on my list. He's close to the top, but never topped the charts.
Mark De Vries?
Yep, twice. 2002 and 3, and then 03-04. There you go. That is pretty much it. Bruno Aguiar, 08-09. Mikey Stewart, 09-10. And then...
they were the bottom 6 years, weren't they?
And then after that, we're into the ones we've already covered. So, well done. And we'll have another one next season or whenever we're back.
Aye. Right. Let's talk about Rangers. Well, they crashed quickly last flight because it was a dead rubber end of the season affair, but it was quite entertaining, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
I enjoyed it.
It's my first time at Tynecastle for fucking ages. I absolutely loved it.
What I loved was how absolutely miserable all the Rangers fans in the home end were at full time. That was absolutely delightful. But being serious, it's a well-trodden path on this podcast. You've heard my opinion on it before. The club have got to do something about it. It's an absolute disgrace. At least 60 to 70% of the hospitality on Saturday in the Gorgie Suite were Rangers fans. Openly cheering, openly singing, openly celebrating Rangers scoring. There was trouble in the main stand. There was trouble in the Roseburn. There was people jumping out of the main stand into the Rangers end. The club have got to do something about it. I don't care if the hospitality makes the club money. These people are going to start causing trouble. We fight tooth and nail not to let the ultras loose on Saturday, trying to keep them in the section because they weren't there was no hiding in plain sight. Even some of the people were kicking about with red, white, and blue t-shirts on, Rangers ties. Like, they couldn't be any more Rangers fans if they tried. Do you know what I mean? It was fair enough. Being in hospitality is hospitality. You're always going to get a bit of a mixed crowd, but there's been respectful. And we've seen with Celtic and Gary Naismith getting his Celtic pals in and them wearing green and sitting in there. It's getting beyond a joke. The club have got to grow a black backbone with it and really put their foot down and say that actually we're going to prioritise Hearts fans now. So whether it means that there's no hospitality sold for these games and they just sell public tickets, whatever it needs to be, do it. Because a Hearts fan, if the club are listening and want to know why Tynecastle is empty when we play Celtic and Rangers, it's because we bend over backwards and pander to let Celtic and Rangers fans in because they snap up hospitality tickets. You need to stop it because it's driving actual Hearts fans away. Look at the scenes in the Roseburn. Imagine take your kids. Imagine take your kids and they're breaking through the barriers and coming into the home end or whatever because they can't handle it. Imagine it was an actual game that mattered and Hearts had scored in the last minute or like, do you know what I mean, and won the game. It's a recipe for disaster. They've got away with it because Hearts, up until we beat Celtic, have been predominantly pretty garbage versus Celtic and Rangers in these games. But if we get better and we look to close the gap, these games are going to start to be meaningful. And if we start scoring goals that impact their seasons, that it's a recipe for disaster. Like I said, it needs to be sorted because it was embarrassing watching the sports scene highlights and they zoom in on the Shanklin goal when they pick corporate hospitality and literally about 5 or 6 of the people in it are actually celebrating. The rest are just sitting glum. So club got to do something about it. You said there was potential trouble in the main stand as well, Tam, didn't you?
I sit in front of the hospitality for the Strongbow Lounge or whatever, but surprisingly there was nothing going on there. But I think it was actually where the
centre
box or whatever.
Aye,
where the centre one is. Yeah,
it was the main stand. European lounge or whatever. So it was It was people that were in there. I'm not going to name names, but it's a well-known Hearts official, let's class it that was actually giving it back, and was saying exactly as I understand it, was saying exactly as you just said there just now, Corbett, is that if you are as an opposing fan going to be in that section for hospitality, don't rub it in people's faces. And I think there was a number of occasions that actually happened, and it got to a point where one just effectively broke the camel's back, and things were said. And I believe that police were involved and stewards and everything else. So you're right, it's got to stop. Understand that there's money to be made, but there's money to be made if you keep them out because more Hearts fans will want to go rather than, as we've had before, sat beside Rangers or Celtic fans. We've seen it in a couple of occasions where troubles came, and it's
completely defeats.
Well,
sorry, Kevin.
Well,
completely defeats.
It even shows you that. Oh, can you?
I was going to say it completely defeats the point of cutting their allocation as well. Because
yep, exactly. That's what I was going to say. You cut it to 600 and then let 600 get into the hospitality or 300, 400, whatever it is. What's the point? They're at half the allocation that they used to have anyway. And to sum it all up, there's a video kicking about that. Obviously, it'll be in our group chats because we know the boy because he's from Livingston. Well-known Rangers fan from Livingston, sponsored the captain's table, and at one point was actually running down to the stewards trying to get Hearts fans kicked out of hospitality because they were giving abuse to the Rangers fans in hospitality. That shows you how ridiculous that situation is, that a Rangers fans got the steward to say kick them out because they're being mean to me because I'm celebrating inside the home end. The club's got to get it fixed. They've got to get their finger out and get it sorted because it's going to end in tears one day. We've managed to get away with it. And again, it just, if you look at the bigger picture, Rangers rented Tynecastle for the ladies' game, put their badge over the crest. Even there, everybody knew it was well advertised. We're doing a lap of honour and a guard of honour for Peter Haring, service to the club. And the players are walking out and Rangers send someone out today, the Warmden. Do you know what I mean? It's liberty taking, we're bigger than you, we're more important than you That's what Celtic and Rangers do. That's why Hearts fans and most other fans hate them. They've got a self entitlement that's ridiculous. It just winds everybody up. And fair play to Hearts for actually coming out and kicking the Rangers boy off, saying they care if you're doing a warm down or not, get off. Like, this is our pitch, this is our stadium. They need to start being hostile to them, because that's how we spoke about this before. That's why the battle's almost won by the time you get to Glasgow, because we're already intimidated. Because I can guarantee you, if we got a group of 30, 40 boys and went to Rangers hospitality and were up cheering when Hearts scored and singing Hearts songs, within the last 2 minutes we'd be kicked out. So club's got to do something about it.
You're absolutely right. It's like if you're subservient to them at every single possible opportunity, then like if you're always bending the knee, then you're always going to continue to do it. But then see, to go back to that bit you're saying about the club need to change it. So obviously the infrastructure for the hospitality is underneath the Gorgie. Like, that's going to be a pain in the arse to actually change. Like, you think about the logistics of it, you're going to have to shuffle people from there to another area of the stadium. But I don't even know how you do it. And I'll be honest, I've never been at corporate hospitality at any other ground other than Livy, because I got free tickets to a car garage once. And it was a game against Hearts, so it didn't really matter. I was one of the arseholes jumping about when we beat them 4-1, but I don't know what it's like at every other stadium. How do they actually do it? And do we have the capacity to be able to do it at Tynecastle? Probably not, without like a massive amount of investment.
Aye, well, like I say, I think it's I think the club have got to they've got to get on top of it. I think it defeats the whole purpose of it, doesn't it? It's Tynecastle. I've said before, 3 of our 4 stands house away fans. That's crazy. That's absolutely mental. Anyway, you skin it, we need to get it sorted. But the game itself was pretty entertaining, wasn't it? It was. I thought that it was summed up both seasons for both clubs. I think Rangers, it highlights just how far behind Celtic they are, but then from a Hearts perspective, not how far we are behind Rangers, but still we're. You look at, we couldn't lay a glove on them in a dead rubber. We scored in the last kick of the ball to make it 3 each, to stop it being 6 wins out of 6 for Rangers. But overall, for Hearts, we're all right. I thought we played pretty well. 6 great goals, to be honest. 6 great goals. A couple of utter sitters. What was your thoughts on it, Ando, when you first came back?
Well, I'll be honest. Overall, I did quite enjoy myself. I thought it was a good game. I think. Fucking hell. Sorry. Come back to me every second.
When did they put your eye out?
I have just poked my eye out. I've got a raggedy fingernail and I think I've just scratched it down my eyeball. Fucking hell. This is what happens when it's live. I'll be back in 2 minutes, boys. Sorry.
Right, Tam, you talk about the game.
I thought it was class. In terms of, obviously there was chances both ends. It was end to end. It wasn't the usual dead rubber I expected to see. I thought both teams were actually going for it, which was good. Obviously Rangers' back line was nowhere near their strongest, so that probably helped us in it. Obviously Shankland took his goal well. He was unlucky with a missed touch later on in the game. Vargas missed a sitter. Dessers missed sitters. Aye.
I don't think I would say that Vargas missed a sitter. Are you talking about the header?
Aye.
I think the cross was just a bit too high for him.
That was a sitter, Kev.
Was it? Like where
2 rows away from it or whatever.
It
was a sitter, like.
I just thought it was just a wee bit too high for him.
Nah, he had time. He's just got it wrong. Just got the technique wrong or whatever, which is fair enough. But yeah, I thought it was a fairly entertaining game. I think if we're going to reflect on it, which I think we should as a club, I think Naismith will do that as well, where we want to go to and aspirations to get to the next stage. You look at midfield was the one for me that stuck out, because I think defensively we were better organised than Rangers, and in attack I think we were singing "You're Just a Shite" Cyril Dessers. No, shite Lauren Shankland to Cyril Dessers because his inequalities were obviously greatly amplified by the fact that Shankland is so deadly. But midfield was the one for me that really stood out because actually Benny and Devlin and Mackay probably three our best players, and I thought they couldn't get near Cantwell, Raskin, who's like their second, third choice midfielder, McCausland, causes ballers again, scores as well. There was that area of the park where it's like what Ando said earlier about the whole Benny signing. I've nothing against Ben. I think great to keep him or wherever, but is that going to take us to the next level, or is Spittle going to take us closer to Rangers and all that? The answer simply is no. Like, if we want to be realistic, does it take us further ahead of Kilmarnock, St Johnstone, Hibs, Aberdeen? Maybe, yeah, probably. And we've spoke before about being, if our blow up season, horrible bad season, is finishing fourth, then we're making huge strides because we've just did the top goal scorers since 2010. Some of those seasons we've finished 8th, 9th, 6th, 4th, 5th. It's been so yo-yo. If we can consistently be 4th or 3rd, 4th or 3rd, and playing in Europe, I think it's going to be that's where we close the gap. But if we're looking to close the gap between the old firm and us, then midfield is where we need to buy some players. We need to invest some money in there because that's going to be the biggest thing. Kev, what were you going to say?
I'm just going to say that with the signings of the potential signings anyway, if you go by paper talk of Danda with Spittle, and I said this to Ando on Saturday, I feel that they're not players that are going to give you that level up to go in to play European competition week in, week out. But what they will do is, where you've had a game on a Thursday night, you know perfectly well that you can play them on a Sunday, and they're going to give you everything that you need to win a game against a St Johnstone, a Ross County, a Wraith Rovers, whoever it may be. So I do think that's been where the sort of reasons behind the purchases have came from, is to actually give you that solid framework on a normal SPFL sort of match day. They're maybe not the ones that, as you rightly say, are going to take you to being third and winning the odd game here and there in European football.
Yeah, but listen, this is closing the gap. That's by no way, shape, or form try to take away from the.
No.
We've had a brilliant season. We've had a superb season, and the players have been fantastic. They deserve huge credit for what they've done. But the club looks to progress, and that would be an area of the park, especially. I'd be hoping that the club have got one eye on, thinking how do we close those gaps. But yeah, I thought Saturday was brilliant. Xander Clark again. All right, Dessers missed sitters, but Xander Clark he conceded 3, but it could have been more than that if it wasn't for Xander Clark. I thought he put in a very, very, very solid performance on Saturday. I thought he was good.
I don't think anyone saves those 3 that actually went in as well, to be honest with you. They're pretty decent.
Yeah. I was absolutely livid in the game, thinking that McCausland's equaliser was absolutely stonewall free kick, but actually when you see it again, it's nowhere near a free kick. He's nowhere near him, to be fair. But they were good. They were good goals. They were all good goals, to be honest with you. But it was pretty decent. I thought we've got to talk about it, and it was a dead rubber, but some of the defending for the Rangers goal. Kyrill's was absolutely shambolic for the second goal. It's embarrassing. Dexter for the third goal, pretty embarrassing as well, to be honest with you. Some of the chances too. What is Riles doing for the Dessers sitter? He tries to skin McCausland inside the 6-yard box. Like kamikaze stuff like that gets you punished in big games. But on the flip side, Rangers were like that at the back as well. What is Tavernier doing for the Shankland goal? He's about 45 yards inside the Hearts half, man.
He's away to the departure lounge on his holidays already, man. It's like
that's what it
that
felt
far
like,
away. It was absolutely rotten.
The ball through from Moda was tracking.
I was going to say, I felt bad for the young boy that Oda just ripped every second, like he was.
But that's what annoyed me about looking at the game on Saturday, thinking back to the semi-finals. Vargas destroyed Tavernier in the second half. Every single time he got the ball and took him on, it was his cross for Dexter's goal. I think he put the cross in as well that eventually was recycled back out and led to his header. He absolutely had him on toast, and like you said, Oda on the first half had the young boy on toast too, and it was that, I think, back to Hampden, I think, just take them on, man. Just run at them, because Tav hates defending. He's brilliant going forward, but he's absolutely rubbish at the back.
Can't mind what report I read on Sunday morning, but one of the reports gave that young lad that played left back for Rangers on Saturday man of the match. I'm like, what? The boy got absolutely put on toast for like 2 of the goals. What are you talking about? Because he's at fault for Tagawas, and we'll come on to talk about that probably in a second. He's way off it. He doesn't follow. He doesn't track the run, and he's off it for the second goal as well. He should have shut down.
But is that no McCausland though?
No, I think it
the
was.
The other young
I
guy
thought
was Fraser.
I thought it was Fraser as well.
But he was taken off like 70 minutes into the game.
Oda did turn him inside out 3 or 4 times, didn't he?
I did in the first half. Like, yeah, absolutely roasted him. Like,
didn't think he was worth man of the match. That's for sure.
We praise him fully, actually. But if you want to blame anybody for one of the goals, is it the equaliser? Why does Shanklin dummy that? But Devlin passes the ball in field, which, to be honest, they probably shouldn't have. But it's gone to Shanklin, and Shanklin lets it run through his legs, and Rangers run up the park and score. I think it's the equaliser.
Boy, Scott Fraser just lets the boy run past him as well a number of times. I'm glad to see him go back to Charlton, that's for sure.
It's weird though, because actually, if we go to the St Mirren game, I actually thought Scott Fraser played okay against St Mirren. I thought he was pretty tidy. No massively industrious or whatever, but he did what we asked him to do. He got on the ball, he never hid. It was a totally and utterly changed team, so there was no rhythm or continuity to what Hearts were doing, but it was I thought he did alright. But against Rangers, I didn't think he didn't have his best game.
A couple of times he ran away from the ball or ran towards Rangers players. He looked a little bit, he reminded me with a lot of his movement on the pitch of one of your favourite players, Gary Mackay-Steven, who would run towards Rangers players rather than run away from them, to make sure that he actually was marked rather than finding space, which just frustrated the shit out of me on Saturday.
Both Shanklin's goals, actually, we might as well talk about them, because we did the podcast after St Mirren. Did we?
No, we didn't, no.
We didn't. His goal at St Mirren is a joke.
Absolutely.
An absolute joke. He has absolute no right to score that goal. Do you know what I mean? Like, it comes out of anybody else is looking to take a touch, anybody else is looking to try and recycle the ball. Shanklin's first touch, as soon as that header and the ball's, he knows what he's doing. He knows exactly what he's doing. And the fact that the goalkeeper doesn't even move shows you that nobody other than Lawrence Shanklin in that penalty area was thinking, I'm scoring here. Because the goalkeeper literally just did that. Fuck. And again, his finish on Saturday, very Rosenborg-esque, but he's think the keeper, the person that folk had been champion for player of the season, set him on his arse and dinked him an absolute belter, which was absolutely class to see.
Do you have any doubt when he was in that 1-1? Because I didn't.
No chance, mate. I can't explain the feeling. Maybe Kevin Ando can remember it because it was like Robbo, but it's just, you just know that he's going to score.
Aye.
You just know that he's going to hit.
It's one of them. You see him powering down, right, or running down. Sorry, and you think it's no if he's going to score, it's how he's going to score. It's like, which one is it going to be this time? And I'll be honest, I didn't see a dink the keeper coming. I just thought he was just going to absolutely batter it past him, low to the keeper's right hand side, the sort of bottom left bin. But that's where I thought it going. But chip the keeper, go on, son.
You're
Take
more
a bow.
surprised if he does miss. You know what I mean?
True.
You're more surprised if he misses than sometimes a chip of the keeper, or as you open his body up and curls into the top bag. You're more surprised if he was to miss it.
Aye, like I said, he's once in a lifetime striker. Hopefully that when we get back podcasting for next season, we're talking about his goals. For anybody to join John Robertson, 31 goals in a season is incredible. When you've just read or heard the utter dross that we've put up with, and since the turn of since Robbo hung the boots up, do you know what I mean? You're talking about top goal scorer scoring 11 goals in a season.
And being a right back.
Some of the guesses are defenders and right backs. Like, that tells you where we're at. Lauren Shankland is just, I keep saying it, folk that watch the highlights of Lauren Shankland and just see him score goals think that that's all he does. People that watch Lauren Shankland play for 90 minutes realise what a football player he is. Everything about his game is superb. His movement, his running, his passing, his ability to hold the ball up, find a pass, make a run. We're running out of superlatives to talk about how good a player is.
Some people from the West Coast who lean to green and white, popular on BBC Scotland, will say that it's he wouldn't get a game in the Celtic team, and that he's playing. He needs to elevate his game if he's going to kick on to a higher level. I'm not even going to mention the guy's name because it has infuriated me since I heard the comments. But that guy can get himself in a bin.
Yes. Well, he's a toilet of a human being anyway.
100%.
But he wouldn't play for Celtic either.
No chance.
Let's put it that way.
No chance.
Let's put it that aside. But anybody, that's just football snobbery.
Aye.
Anybody, Celtic would have cakewalked the league if they'd had Lauren Shankland. Rangers would have won a treble if they had Lauren Shankland. It is that simple. Where it goes. The good thing now with Hearts though is that the goals are spread throughout the team. It's not just the Lauren Shankland show anymore. And obviously his second or his understudy has been getting a couple of games in the last couple of games of the season. Tagawa, I thought he took his goal absolutely brilliantly on Wednesday. Great movement. At the time I said that maybe harsh to call it a sitter, but having rewatched the highlights, the chance that he was at the back post as a sitter, I think if he'd been match sharp or match fit, he would have been a bit more anticipating where that was coming for. Great ball for Cochrane. But again, you can't judge him.
Thankfully, I think that one was offside, to be fair, but you would still want him to score.
The what one?
The one at the back post. I think they said it would have been offside. Might be wrong.
No convinced, no convinced. But his goal on Saturday is literal class. It was an absolute unbelievable finish. And I think folk have spoken about it before, but genuinely can't think of a player that's been so willingly egged on to be successful. Do you know what I mean? Normally, and we're the worst for it, we'd write everybody off. Do you know what I mean? But genuinely, everybody has been so desperate for him to score that I don't know if it's because he's got a great chant.
Certainly part of it.
Whatever it is, but it was an absolutely brilliant finish, Kev, wasn't it?
It was. I'm out with we're going to talk about it shortly. We're going to talk about the fact that goals out with Shanks. I think you can't even with Shanks. You maybe say that's in your top three for the season. If you think about it from Xander Clark's, let's just call it what it is, hoof up front, give him one last chance to Kent's header to the back of the net. The ball does not touch the grass, does not touch the ground in any way, shape or form. And he looks like Tagawa looks like one of those players that ask him to do something, spur of the moment, with instinct, he's got it. Ask him to go and maybe beat two or three players and slot it in the corner like maybe a Shankland would do. I don't think he has that in his locker. So just don't ask him to think about it. Just tell him, just put in the back of it.
Here's something for you, because it's something that we've maybe lacked for a bit. We obviously went direct. If you actually think the Tagawa chance that Kent caught and then put on the ground, and then Tagawa blazed it onto the defender when we did the long throw in, actually caused Rangers loads of issues by going direct, by having Kent up there winning headers, because we put Kent up front for like the last 5 minutes or whatever, where he could win headers. It begs the question of, Shankland and Tagawa, they're much for muchness, or obviously goal outputs are different, but in terms of what we ask them to do, is that something in the transfer market that we go and say, actually, a target man, somebody that's happy to sit on the bench but come on with 10, 15 minutes or a second half where actually thinking of games against Celtic and Rangers, or a team that's aggressively pressing us, and we need someone that can win headers and get Oda and Vargas and Shankland and Tagawa playing off knockdowns and flick-ons, or even just holding the ball up. Is that an area that you'd think that the club will explore in the transfer window?
I think so. Curtis Main might be available, so we could go down that route. Nah, but no, I do think it is something we should look at. I suppose Humphreys had an aspect to that in terms of his physicality last year, but we do sort of need somebody who's a bit more bring other players into play. I would certainly agree with it.
I have Humphreys is different. We kind of tried to use him to hit on the counter or whatever we could, didn't we? Because he was fast. You're looking for someone that's more literally just stand on the toes of defenders and win headers, like square sausages, like a Kev Kyle. Do you know what I mean? Someone that can win a header there or thereabouts. And if you're in like that, you're chasing a game and you can chuck it into the mixer and see if you can cause havoc, winning headers, and because that is the worst thing for defenders if somebody wins the first header. It's why football fans get so angry when corners don't beat the first man. Because if you can beat the first man and get a flick on or get into there, it causes panic, because now you ask a defender to go and header a ball that's high up in there and coming straight towards them. That's bread and butter. They do that every single day. They love that. They know when to time their jump. They know how to lean onto a man, how to get their arms on him, stop him jumping. Ask a defender to deal with a ball that's bouncing, with people run about them, legs run about them. That's their absolute idea of hell. So, yeah, maybe be something that Hearts will look to do. Was there Dexter took his goal well, but I think right back is still an area of the park I'd be interested in signing some players from.
And that's
Definitely
the priority.
Yeah, definitely an area that we need to really put some investment into. Again, going back to what you said earlier on, you maybe look at a creative midfielder, maybe a target man, but definitely a right back. That has to be one of the big asks of the close season.
Yeah, but overall, it was great. Good end to the season. Felt pretty fitting that the last kick of the ball was for us to come back again to avoid defeat. It seems to be in the tail of the season. We've been pretty good at coming back from 2 goals behind to not lose a football match, which was decent, and it left him in tears, which was fine. So get right up all of them, which was fun. Right. Anything else you want to talk about? Anything else catch your eye?
The atmosphere for that Tagawa goal was tremendous. Loved it.
It was pretty good. Like it was pretty good. I will give you that. It was decent, and also the atmosphere of the 70% hospitality that was Rangers fans having to walk down and into the hospitality suite through the ultras and the fans, all of us celebrating, was also fun. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it greatly. Right. Let's talk about the stuff we've got our guys on YouTube to interact with us for. We'll go through what we do: goal of the season, game of the season, player of the season, fave moment of the season. Who wants to go first? Goal of the season.
Is this with or without Shankland?
I'll go first.
I'm going Sunday.
Well, Guy's your best Shank. Well, Guy's if it's not if it's a Shankland goal, Guy's a Shankland goal. But then Guy's your other nomination.
I'll give you mine.
I'll go.
Oh, well, I'm first. It's alphabetical by surname time. So it's for me, Derby winner at Easter Road, Shankland's 93rd, whenever it was, minute. That if I could, oh man, just bottle it up and I'll take a spoonful of that every single day of my life. It was absolutely brilliant. Just the feeling when that happens. It's like It's the 93rd minute. You don't need me to explain it. It's just class. It's absolutely class. The other one,
Rocky header in it and nutmegging himself as well. Belter.
it's amazing. Everything about it from start to finish is absolutely brilliant. I could watch it on repeat all day. It's amazing. And then the other one is the Kingsley free kick at Parquet. I thought that was absolutely remarkable. It's a difficult place to do that sort of thing, and it's been a while since obviously he's done that in a big spot, and he done it. Look, hats off to you, son. Well done.
And it led to two of my favourite parts of the season. One, them booing Santa, and two, the studio close up of Peter Grant sitting next to that stupid Christmas tree with his face absolute feeling.
Oh no!
Absolutely
Someone
superb.
shat in my cornflakes.
But the Shankland goal for loads. Obviously, you know, my wee girl was in hospital pretty much all over the Christmas period.
Yeah.
So that moment, they've been able to get away from the absolute horror and worry that my wee girl wasn't well, to learn that Hearts had scored a 93rd minute winner at Easter Road was pretty incredible. It was well good. Tam, what's your goals this season?
Shankland one, the St Mirren goals for me is everything about.
Outrageous,
Yeah,
isn't it?
just the touch, the finish. Again, it's one of those ones.
It gets up there like the St Mirren goal that he scored on Wednesday. Nobody else the goalkeeper doesn't move because no one else is expecting that he's going to touch, turn, and shoot all in the same movement.
Yeah, I don't think there's another player in our team that would even be able to do that. So, absolute class. I don't know if it's recency bias, but Tagawa's goal on Sunday for me, just who it was, when it was. No, it was a dead rubber, but the atmosphere after it, and he deserved it. So that was brilliant.
Yeah, pretty decent. Kev?
I think the goals that have already been spoken about out with Shanks are probably the highlights. There's no getting away from that. Personally, my favourite Shanks goal, just to be different to the ones that have already been mentioned, is actually the goal against Aberdeen, where he effectively pushes George Grant out the way. I'm having this outside of his right foot, and I think what made it even better is the Aberdeen keeper diving for it, because he looked like a right spaz.
Bro, I'll wait to get us shut down, Kev.
My bad.
Well, just apologies to anybody that heard
Somebody
that.
beat that out. We won't hear that. We won't hear that when we put that in the actual broadcast. Jesus. That's why it's a drunk uncle at a party, man. That's why you didn't invite him. My Shankland goal's the goal at Motherwell. I don't think anybody talks about that enough. There's back heel. That is out again. We talk about things that only Shankland would do. The little back heel for the knock, the Frankie Kent header down. It's outrageous. Do you know what I mean? It's an unbelievable finish. Goals, obviously Alan Forrest's goal against Hibs. Folk have spoke about it. I know that most folk say that was goal of the season. We've already aired the reasons why I'll never ever watch that goal ever again. It doesn't even register. I liked Vargas's volley v Motherwell. The one where he brushes off the Motherwell defender, pulls it down at there, and then volleys it in. Was a pretty decent finish as well.
His finish at Livy was actually half decent.
Aye,
Tam and I were.
So was Shankland's too.
Tam and I were right behind.
So was Shankland. So he took a touch, and then the outside half volley with the outside of the right foot, belter. Cool game of the season, Ando.
It's a difficult one because I've been banned from Tynecastle for so long. And that, like, all joking aside, I haven't been to as many games this season as I probably would have liked. Do I have to have been there?
No,
nah.
Just a game that you've enjoyed.
In that case, it's the 1-0 against Easter Road. Against Hibs at Easter Road, just because of the reasons we've already covered. There's nothing better than beating that lot.
Beating them, aye.
But if close seconds, obviously the two Celtic games. But for me, beating Hibs is always the prime. Just is. Never get tired of it. It's some of my favourite moments to enjoy. So, yeah, that's it for me.
Aye. Tam.
Celtic at home for me. We never see it very often, and I was going to patch the game in the morning, so I wasn't expecting anything, and that was good.
Stinking hangover, was it, Tom?
Maybe, Kev. You know me quite well.
Man flu.
I had COVID again.
Constantly got
Someone
man flu.
hurt his feelings.
I had a protest. No.
Mate, you
Had a protest
Tam,
to go.
go and do us a favour. See next season, go and just drink more orange juice or something, like, because you're ill an awful lot. Just that's it. Glass of orange juice a day, you'll be fine.
Thanks, mate.
It's because he's on his like 8th booster jag for COVID-19 or whatever. He's the only person still going to get boosters, and it's like, get it, Tam. It's finished. He wrote a very strongly worded email to Hearts because folk aren't wearing masks anymore. I was like, Tam, come on, it's embarrassing. Stop moaning about it. Kev.
Game of the season would be way back at the beginning. Would be against Rosenborg. Thought it was just the atmosphere that night was fantastic. Proper European night under the floodlights. Of course, the result makes it even better, given the way in which the last 5-10 minutes of the game unfurled. So yeah, that would probably be my game.
Problem is, that was
Rosenborg.
I did enjoy beating Celtic.
Rosenborg for me as well. Rosenborg for me too, because from my own personal progression as a Karen, from moaning to Hearts about do something better about the atmosphere, we need to do something to that game, and it all started with the Istanbul game. You know the story. It's well trodden. Brought my mate to the Istanbul game to talk about how amazing Scottish football is, and Tynecastle under lights, European nights. It's going to be bouncing. Gorgie will be bouncing. Pubs will be bouncing. It'll be great. And we'll beat 3 or 4-0. The Queen died at half time. Nobody was in the pub. There was no singing. And I was like, this is dreadful. So this is a terrible advert. So you've managed to pull it all together, display before the game, the atmosphere, and a 94th minute winner or whatever it was to win and knock out a fairly sizable scalp for Hearts. It felt like a perfect moment. It was brilliant. Tynecastle exactly how it's supposed to be, bouncing and brimming with atmosphere. So it was a good shout, Kev, right up there. And also, from my own personal, just absolute de-rubber games that have turned into decent affairs. Livy's at home, Airdrie in the cup, like non-stop singing, bouncing, St Mirren, where everybody was singing the Christmas song.
Kelly game last week,
like all that stuff is being class. Even last week versus Dundee.
Dundee, sorry.
All the run of the mill games where we would have, let's be honest, all of us probably would have bailed at half time or 60 minutes back to the pub or whatever. These games where actually Tynecastle's got a bit about itself in the away days are better and stuff as well. So shout outs to them. Right, player of the season, Tam?
It's Shaglin for me. Outside of that, it has to be Frankie Kent.
Yeah, and listen, there's nothing wrong with saying Shaglin. I said we can nominate him for everything because it's like having Craig Gordon come through your youth academy and going to have the career that he has. These things don't happen all the time. These are once in a lifetime opportunities, and Lawrence Shankland is an outrageous football player. So, but yeah, Frankie Kent's been a solid signing in addition to this squad. Struggled a bit. I'll not lie to you, he's struggled since he's came back his injury. Don't think he's been in as impressive as he was pre-injury, but again, that happens when you're coming back for injury and stuff. So, Kev.
Stephen Kingsley. Towards the end of last season, I think Corbett, you and I were at Livy, and the boy couldn't make a pass. Never mind anything else. This season, he's been a totally different player, consistent. We've asked him to play left back. We've asked him to play left side of the centre halves. We've asked him even to play right back. He played right back on Saturday. I didn't think he even looked out of place. From that point of view, he slotted in. Yes, of course, he'll want to always come inside on his left foot, which puts him into a little bit more danger because the park is of course busier in the middle of the park. But I think the guy's been absolutely solid this year. You could maybe even argue that he's been player of the season, out with Shanks. So yeah, he's been my standout.
Ando.
Well, player of the season is obviously Shankland. Aside from that, my second place would have been Stephen Kingsley, alongside what you've just said, Kev, so I'll not bother repeating that. Another honourable mention, because I thought he's done well at certain points of the season, is Alan Forrest as well. I think he has been a lot better this season compared to previous seasons. And then honourable mentions for Frankie Kent and George Grant as well.
I'm the same as you. Shankland obviously played the season, but my other one would be Stephen Kingsley. Given his own personal circumstances, I think it's been maybe well publicised that he obviously had his own family issues. His kids weren't well for a long period of time, and for him to manage that and perform at the level that he's been performing at, he's been pretty outstanding. And hopefully, I'm still hoping that there's maybe a wee surprise inclusion in the Scotland squad for him tomorrow.
Whoa.
I know,
I know what you're saying,
for him personally,
Yeah.
he would enjoy it.
I think a lot of credits,
Be recognition for a great season.
a lot of credits to be given to Kenny Vargas. You know, a young lad coming to new country, doesn't speak the language. Okay, it took him a little bit of time to actually score his first goal. What was it? Around about November time, I think he scored in November, December against Livy. But as he's played a hell of a lot more, as he's become accustomed to the players that are around about him, to return 9-10 goals this season is fantastic. Alongside, of course, a number of assists. So, I think there's a little bit of credit got to be given to him as well.
Can we give him an honourable mention for his shithousery on social media as well? Because I love
100%.
that.
Yeah, that was good.
I think that's...
Tam, what were you going to say?
Just an additional one for the chat that none of us has mentioned. I can't speak. Done. Right, okay. Blair says player outside the Shanks has to be Xander Clark, only because he's kept us up such good standards, considering the pressure he's been under from the fans, to be replaced by Gordon, which can't disagree.
Yeah, fair enough. I think, like I said, we spoke about it up until the Spartans game when Craig Gordon returned and they started to shuffle the pack. Xander Clark was the leading clean sheet goalkeeper in the league. He had the most clean sheets. And then obviously a big presence of having Craig Gordon hanging about in the background. We've seen a bit of peaks and troughs from him, but yeah, solid. It's a fair shout. I think one of the things I've enjoyed this season the most as well, just away from everybody, is the emergence of the young players. Denham, Tate and Wilson have all came in, and all right, maybe Tate has performed better than the rest of them, but without reaching heady heights. But it's been good to see that they've come in the... I look back to Robbie shoehorning Ewan Henderson in every week so that you could say, see, I told you that we play young players, and watching them have absolutely no impact on the game. The guy that's now at was it Connor Smith, the guy that's now at Airdrie or wherever he moved in the leagues to
Johnson,
wherever he ends up. Like, it's been good to see the emergence of the young guys as well, which is good to see. Hopefully we see them improve next season as well.
Absolutely.
Tam, it's been your favourite moment of the season?
It's a tough one. In terms of, obviously, we spoke about games, stuff like that. To be honest, my moment is genuinely we've spoken about it, but the changing atmosphere at Tynecastle. I think it's been a lot more enjoyable season with that. I just, throughout the season, I suppose it's not a moment, but it's much more enjoyable going to games when we're playing the shite of the league, to be honest.
Kev?
Favourite moment is not a moment, but it was the away match at Dens Park. And no, Tam, not the one that I took you, drove you up in the car because you were pushed. But the game back in March where we won 3-2. And we had back-to-back games with Dundee, one at home and then one away. Just altogether was just a good day out, good result. It was just everything you want from an away day. Hearts fans were, from first minute to the last minute, were behind the team. And I think, to coincide with what Tam's just said there, I think the ultras, the atmosphere that we take to away games has actually probably also got a lot of significance in the fact that we've won more away games this season than we have done in probably the last 5, 6, 7 seasons put together. So I think a lot of credit's got to be given to those individuals that do bring that atmosphere with them.
Ando?
Mine is very existential. It's a bit like what Tam's just said, which is like you're talking about atmosphere and everything like that. But for me, this has been the first season, and I think Corbett, you're probably of the similar vein, whereby you're waking up on a match day and you're looking at whoever we're playing or whatever, and you're just thinking, right, it's not a case of if we're going to win, but how we're going to win. I think the renewed optimism that surrounds everything just now to do with Hearts it's properly infectious. But I think if I'm honest, if I'm talking about match day experience, it all comes down to what you guys have done. Well, you particularly, Corbett, have done with the Gorgie Ultras. I think that has probably been, it's a collection of moments rather than one single thing. I think is that part. Being able to bring the noise and try and make Tynecastle a fortress again. I've never seen it like that for years and years and years, and it's that's my overall favourite moment.
And I think you get it's what you've said there about if we're going to win. The thing that we've got now that I like the most about us is it's if we get beat, we know that it's because the team's had to beat us. Do you know what I mean? Like this team's got guts. We just spoke about there. You know, you're 3-1 down at home. Last game of the season, nothing to play for. All season's objectives have been achieved. It is the absolute ultimate. Just throw the towel in. Like, who cares? We're on the beach. And to come back and get 3-3 so that we don't lose, make it 11 games undefeated at Tynecastle. Like Kev said there, you played Dundee on a rearranged night, Tuesday night, during a storm where folk were told not to travel. You go in, you're 2-0 down at half time. How many times have we seen teams in the past where we'd have settled for let's just not lose by 3? You know, let's keep it tight. And we go out and we win 3-2. And then the very next, and again, we'd spoke about a time, if we'd played for an extra 5 or 10 minutes, we'd have won 4-2, 5-2. We were absolutely battering teams. And then the next game week we go and we do the exact same thing. You're 2-0 down at Dundee and you come back and you win 3-2. That sort of guts is something that we've not had for ages, and I think that's why this is for the first time in a long time I've felt that connection between fans and the group of players has been really strong. Because, and again, Naismith, whatever he says in the press, it doesn't really matter unless you win. Because if you talk in the press and you don't win, you sound like a dafty. You talk in the press and win, everybody thinks, oh my God, this guy, he absolutely gets it. But we've had our previous managers say, if you expect to win every week, go support Man United and Man City. You know, we've been condescended. All the real fans wouldn't they want Craig Levein out and all that sort of stuff. Stephen Naismith calls it how it is. We win, he'll come out and say, we did all right, but we could be better. We get beat, he comes out and says, we played crap, we need to do better than that. Somebody has a good game, he comes out and says, he's good, but he needs to do better. Like, I like the fact that he calls it how he sees it, you know, and he always demands that we need to be better than that. Like, this is, we're a big club.
Doesn't just settle.
Yeah, he doesn't just settle. And you can see that in his players as well. Like, his players don't settle. And he'll take players off that need to come off. He'll drop players that need to be dropped. He's got most of the big decisions right, and in his favour is he's got results, which is a massive thing. So my favourite moment of the season's been pretty easy. It was when Shanklin caught a pie and ate it. And the most get it up you moment ever.
Fuck, I never even thought of that.
The most get it up you moment ever, because they were in their heads 4-0 up because they'd had a couple of shots on target and a goal against us, and were on their way to 10 in a row in the Champions League and all that stuff, and we scored a penalty and then they couldn't beat us, and Shanklin did a penalty and listened to some AirPods, which I thought was absolutely class.
Does the fact that it should have been a penalty make it even better?
Absolutely, 100%. And the fact that they won, I think someone had put out there saying that Shanklin has now won more awards than Hibs won away games. this season. I like that one moment is what they pinpoint. They say, oh, if didn't have that penalty in the derby, then that would have been when folk were sent off. Kairos should have been sent off in the derby at Easter Road. And I was like, mate, if you could just beat Livingston, that would help. Like, what don't you worry about that stuff. Don't get beat 3-1 at home to by St Mirren. Don't get beat by Kilmarnock. Don't lose away to Ross County. Like, try that first. Then circle back to those decisions and see. So that was good. Tam, is there anything different contrary to what we've said on the live chat before we wrap it up?
Similar vein, but kind of different. Bethany has said, moment of the season, Nazy doing a good job and sticking with him, which
Fair play.
fair. That's I dig at you, Corbett, after your bed sheet.
Yeah, that's it.
Blair, he has said, moment of the season is the turnaround in form, not a game, but the fact we went from shite to a decent side and carried it until the end of the season.
Fair. You got my bed sheets to thank for that.
And that's pretty much it. I can see there.
Right, sound. Well, I don't think Hearts are back training for 5 weeks. The European campaign starts in August. If anything crazy happens between now and then, transfers, anybody leaving, coming and goings, whatever it may be, we'll jump on and do some reaction stuff. But until then, have a good summer. Whatever you get up to, keep in contact with us on social medias. We'll obviously keep in the community chat. But we'll be probably not back now for at least maybe 4 weeks. But we'll let you know how things are going. If Shankland becomes the top goal scorer in the Euros, I might pay some attention to the Euros. So you might get a Lauren Shankland King of Europe podcast, maybe. But we'll let you know. All right, boys.
Thanks very much, boys.
Cheers for the season, guys.
It's been a good one.
Aye, good season, Trips. See you all soon.
Catch you later.
Bye.
See you.
Gorgeros.